Hey everyone, welcome back to the Battlefront Studios here in New Zealand. Today we're playing around a little bit with Armoured Fist. We've got our live launch running, and a few of us decided that since we could sneak away from our desks, we might come and spend a bit of hobby time working on our armies. I'm Chris, by the way, and today I'm chipping away at my American Fighting First boys. Over on my left, Mike's working on something.
Yes, hi. Yeah, hi, I'm Mike. I'm working on my M14s from Avanti because I have to keep pace with these Armoured Fist people. Yeah, I don't really know how to deal with Churchills. Tiny little tanks, but you know, nothing bravery can solve, and yeah, so that's what I'm working on.
I think you've got an example there on the table, haven't you, of
yes.
how an M14 deals with the Churchill?
Yeah, this is the only way that you can do it. You sneak in from behind and crawl up on it.
I know a giant, gun on the back of a truck might make one of those go away.
Yeah, get some Lanciers. It's pretty much the next thing I'll be doing is some Lanciers and maybe some towed 88s, but I do like the Lanciers. They're a bit more Italian than the big 88s. And
They got a look, eh?
Yeah.
There's a style all about them.
Quite a lot of points, but there would be something quite cool. I mean, it would be cool to see 8 Lanciers on the table. I mean, it'd be freaking scary for my church to see 8 Lanciers on the table, but it would be quite cool.
Between that and I've got a battery of some Avantes as well, which can...
Yeah, that's true.
They won't be able to deal with the Churchill so much, but they can have at least a bailing shot, whereas these guys are kind of a little bit... They're just going to go beat up whatever else you take. Speaking of which, what else do you have in your list?
Well, actually, one of the things I'm working on today is my British Churchill list. This is one of my oldest lists I still have, and I'm kind of refurbishing it, basically, and turning it into version 4. The only thing I was missing was the Universal Carriers, which I'm kind of working on now. But basically, it's based on King's Force. So I have the 6 Churchills that King's Force had. I had a motor rifle company, which was kind of in the area, and I have some 25-pounders, because in the second Battle of Alamein, there's some really cool stories about some brave 25-pounder crew and stuff, so I wanted to have them represented in this particular list. And so, if Michael's facing this list, he probably would go after my infantry bit here, which is a motor company, so it's a platoon of infantry, HQ, a couple 6-pounders, and a couple of Universal Carriers. So, these are probably things you can easily handle. But the thing is that the Churchills are their own company, so once those are gone, you're going to have to figure out a way to deal with them. So that's where your Lanciers or aircraft or something will have to come in and do
No,
stuff.
I don't have any airplanes, unfortunately.
No, your aircraft is guns, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they've got bombs, but
Right.
it's more effective, I think, to have the Lanciers, the 88s, or some Avantes and
Yeah.
things.
Well, Lanciers is just cool.
Or some really, really brave infantry.
But yeah, so I'm just kind of playing around and just amazed how this is like one of the few armies I've had that has lasted this long.
Because you took that to a tournament in Canada in like 2006 or something like that, if I remember, 2005,
Yeah.
2006. So you've had it for a very long time.
Yeah. That was a really fun tournament. In fact, actually, this 25-pounder battery during that tournament got a whole glass of Guinness spilled on them by accident by my opponent. And ever since then, I was playing against the Panther army. They just destroyed Panther after Panther that game.
They were infused with the Guinness.
Yes. Guinness just kind of gave them that second win, and I actually won that game, which I thought I was never going to win. It was like 8 Panthers versus my Churchills. Like, yeah, I'm not going to win this. 25 pounders like, yeah, you are. I think they killed about 4 to 5 themselves, and I think one ambushing Churchill platoon took care of another platoon, which was quite hilarious. Yeah, thinking of Churchill's ambushing Panthers, but there we go. What are you working on over there, Wade?
All right. Well, I many years ago started a desert slash Tunisia slash Southern Italy New Zealand rifle company. I've got 2 platoons painted in an HQ, and now I thought I'd better start painting some of the other bits and pieces for it. I've technically got 3 platoons painted because my 3rd platoon is a Australian platoon I painted ages ago for another reason, but it can proxy as my 3rd platoon for the moment until I get from painting a 3rd platoon. So at the moment I'm working on some mortars. I'm going to do a unit of 4 mortars. Then I was going to paint some 6-pounders and some 25-pounders, and I've got 2 Bofors guns painted, so I need to paint a 3rd one. So I've got a legal thing. I think under 2nd edition you could take a pair of Bofors,
Yeah.
but now you can you have to take 3. So I've got to paint one more. Luckily I've got the model, so I just need to paint them. And yeah, so I made a list up, because this is one of the things I do. I start painting things and then don't make lists, so it gets out of hand.
So you're planning to paint to the list? You're not?
Yeah, I'm going to try and finish. We'll get this list finished. Because I grabbed, last time when we did the release of Desert Rats, I grabbed some honeys and grants and glued them together. So I got those sitting at home to paint as well. And digging around in my box of desert stuff, I found 2 Daimlers, well actually 4 Daimlers. But I need to paint 2 dingoes, but I have dingo models, so I'll paint those as well. So I can either build 1 or 2 armoured car troops. So yeah, so it should be an interesting force. And I think maybe later I might swap some of them things around and get rid of the honeys and the grants and maybe have some Shermans or something, just to represent, say, Tunisia rather than Alamein or whatever. Yeah.
Yep. Very nice.
If you're interested in like the list I'm running, I have written an article up for it for today's launch event, and that should go on. I don't know if this video is going to be before or after that goes on, but it should be online. So you can check out the Flames of War website to see the list and how I intend to play.
I'd share what this list is, but I don't really remember. It's the let's get 17 lees, start there and put a whole pile of other stuff with it. So
You get Stewarts or anything, or
no,
just Lees?
lees.
Artillery?
No,
Infantry?
so it's lees and a whole pile of M3 half tracks.
Right.
So armored infantry eventually.
No,
You mean like artillery?
artillery and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
On AA, things like that?
they're under this book. So much for finding them. Yeah, and I've already put some photos up on the Facebook group with them. So I've done, was it the M3 GMCs, the M4 mortar carriers. Someone did what was it, the T19 as a web-based card, so I made some of those. Yeah,
So what did you do to make those?
I grabbed some of the M3 half tracks with the resin inserts, and then just added the 105mm guns to
Alright.
them. I kind of
So from the ones from the priest, basically. Yeah.
from the old T19 blisters.
Oh, right.
So they're a real sort of Frankenstein conversion.
But you could use the guns from the priests, or
I don't know.
would you use the
Sure, you must
105 gun from the 105 gun model?
You'd probably do that.
Yeah.
There's probably many ways you can do it.
It's got the same mounting point.
Yeah. And then I just sort of hacked up the resin insert that goes inside the M3. So a bit of green stuff and a bit of drilling, and yeah, just made it work. Probably doesn't look entirely correct internally, but it'll look good from the outside.
Some of those Frankenstein projects is really fun when you're done with them. You can look at them later. Like I did a grass spree way back when, and that was just a really cool artillery.
Battery.
Yeah, the artillery one. Sorry. It was just a really fun kind of hodgepodge. There's like 2 or 3 photos of it that I could find, and
Well,
Yeah.
many years ago, we put the 37mm Portees in the Hellfire and Back book for the
That's right.
the British. I think it was the Australians used them. I think. We didn't actually have the model at that point, so I scratch built some.
That's right.
So the ones in the book are actually the ones I scratch built.
that's pretty cool.
Just grabbed the Morris 1500 weight truck and built all the other bits on the back. Stuck a 2-pounder on. No, it's a Bofors anti-tank gun on the back. And
Yeah, isn't it the one from the Polish early war range?
yeah, it's the same gun. Yeah.
Some things.
I found myself just yesterday grabbing the old Hellfire and Back book and looking at the Italian lists in there.
Oh yeah.
Just thinking, wonder if I could use these as an early war force, and I'm just kind of playing around because I think the ETC stuff just came out, the conversion.
Yeah, I know, because I noticed someone was asking on the Facebook group about if the Libyan Fusiliary platoon was still available. Yeah.
So
Which I think the answer was yes.
Yeah, it
was.
should be.
Yeah, because it was interesting actually, and to that point, I found when I was out digging out all of my old Italians, I did find all my old Libyans and stuff from the desert raid and stuff. And I thought one through my head that maybe on my Bisagulari I could stand in my Libyans, but then I realized that I actually had a bunch of Bisagulari kicking around from like 2004
All right.
that needed to be painted, and they haven't been. But I'm kind of this Avanti kind of excited me to actually get the infantry out again and actually paint them up, because my original Italian list back when Andrew was playing King Force was just a bunch of M14s and L640s, and I think I had a Demolisher platoon. That was it. Like I never really made more infantry, but I had all that Bisagulari from that old army kit box that we had. Back
That
in
was
the
the
old
one
days.
where you had the Greek pillars, right?
Yeah.
That's the kind of basing stuff that you did.
But
That army took on a D-34 army in one.
yeah,
That was
it
very
was a weird day.
weird.
But
Very cool.
But yeah, so like those Libyans would be they would be totally usable to proxy your Bisagulari. They were quite a keen force. Well,
Yeah, I mean the pity their headwear is not quite the same as the fascist youth guys. Is it something Giovanni? The fascisti Giovanni,
Oh yep. I know
but
what
they
you're
had
talking
sort of
about.
basically organised. I think I can't remember if they organised like Fusilieri or Bersaglieri, but they're kind of cool and different force.
Different ways to field them all.
Yeah, just field the same armies with different things. But they wore fezzes, so they had black fezzes.
Ah, right.
But so like the Bersaglieri red fez, but except black.
Right.
But one assumes they also wore helmets when people were firing things at them.
The Libyans had red feathers as well.
Yeah, but they had that sort of slightly weird shape fez, didn't they? It was like had a front bit on it, a fold up front bit or something.
The days just fly by here sometimes.
We're just discussing colours of fezzes. Great.
But yeah, if I was in harm's way and bullets were coming at me, I know to wear a fez and a helmet, which I would prefer to be wearing. The fez.
I'd pick the one that let me be further away.
Different armies had weird attitudes to helmets. Like the Russians tended to not want to wear their helmets unless they were
Artillery or something.
Tartary. They'd actually not wear them most of the time and then put them on when they needed to, sort of thing. Well, other times, other people would wear their helmets all the time. Yeah.
Well, Romanians had those helmets that were would funnel water into their uniforms, and the bridge would be so low that they actually had to stick their head out even farther than normal people do out of trench fights and stuff to see out. So they tend to steal German helmets for that account because they're a little bit more efficient. Those kind of things, but yeah.
So I think it's funny. Only 2 people here are working on Armoured Fist forces, and 2 of us are lagging behind and actually not finished projects from old books or previous books.
Yeah, I had on my list. I really wanted to make a Valentine company out of the new book.
Oh yeah.
I quite liked. Well, I started off with Valentine, but then I remembered that I had a half of an old Death or Glory Boys army painted from back a long time ago. And I thought, you know what? Now that all the new models are out, I still really like that kind of service color and brown camouflage. So that's probably gonna be my next mid-war thing. So I'm just gonna power through these guys so that I can get to that project.
My next challenge is to try to figure out what colors I used to paint these 11 years ago. Try to match.
Oh, you're gonna try and colour match them?
Try and match my universe characters so they look like they belong.
Yeah.
But back then I did not know what I was painting, what colors I was doing. Everything you can tell, like my Mickey Mouse camouflage is a bit lighter than it probably should have been.
Kind of orangey, like almost like green ochre or something.
Yeah, I think he used a brown wash on it.
Yeah.
I think at the time Michael was painting skeletons, and so I used some of his inks and stuff like that to ink this because these were desert, and so brown seemed like a more natural color to use than
It kind of is. Brown's good for deserty colors.
Mhm.
It's a good wash for it.
But yeah, I need to finish my Americans. I'm very, very behind, but I figured this is an army that I have almost done. Just had just one little unit, and then it's ready to go. So it's worth pulling this out for today and getting it done. Because
Yeah.
when we made the first British book, this was the army I had. I'm like, well, I can't play my Churchills yet, so I grabbed a bunch of Lees and started creating those. And then the Americans came out, and I grabbed my American army, started creating that. It's like, and then the bigger and the bigger the work pile
Yeah.
starts piling up. So I'm like, this time I'm just gonna do what I know I can get done.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I got all the airbrushing done on this army. I took a week off work and spent most of the time doing hobby projects. And all the airbrushing done, got them varnished, ready to start putting decals and other stuff on them, and the project just kind of stalled. So I thought this was a good chance to pull them out and do a bit more work on them and try and uninstall them.
All the lights are on. Having trouble seeing.
You're going blind. Well, it's heading towards winter here in New Zealand, so it's not quite as bright outside.
Winter's coming.
Winter is coming.
So
There
it's
goes
like-
Luke. You'd have to turn the camera quickly on your screen to have caught him as he zipped by.
That's assuming that people aren't, focused on Wayne's and my lovely face.
Jeez, I was throwing some shade at Wayne with it.
Jesus.
I was just talking about our natural beauty. That's it.
Yeah.
Glad you agreed so quickly. And non-sarcastic.
I think when I decided to work on this army, I should have thought a little bit harder. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 decals per league is taking a bit too much effort right now.
It's always worth it.
Yeah.
They look so great when you
I'm
have decals on them.
When I get around to doing decals, I'm just having a look at the decal sheet here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, probably 8 per M14.
Yeah, it's
And multiply it over 17 tanks.
yeah.
So it's going to be decal essential for a while.
Well, one thing that's good
Yeah.
about King's Force, of course, this is 11-year-old research. So I don't know if that's exactly accurate. I'm just trying to remember what it was, but they don't have any markings except for some serial numbers on the side, so they didn't actually need any decals.
Did they have any squadron technical markings like
Not that I know of.
the squares and circles and triangles and things? Or
From what I read, I didn't see that, but they probably did. It's what it probably, because it was a hodgepodge kind of like unit that was kind of formed to perform that task, and I think it was disbanded shortly after. But then again, it's been 10 years since I've looked at that stuff. I did a lot of research on this particular army back then, and I was really into it. And
Well, that was back in the day when you had to provide histories and stuff
Yeah.
to go with your armies.
it was really cool because I got really, really into this army and played it a lot. But the problem with Churchill's is that in mid-war, either armies tend to be able to defeat them or not.
Mm.
And so it was either going to have a fun game or you weren't. And so not everybody wanted to play against them. So I ended up, of course, building other lists and doing other things, and then just using this for tournament games or fun big mega tank battles or something. But yeah, it was also a lot more competitive back then. If Michael can contest too.
Still are, but
Yeah, we still think you are.
There are definitely differences between me now and then.
that part's true.
So, guys, we hope you've been enjoying all the content on the website. Let us know in the comments below what you're hobbying this weekend, maybe. You know what we're meant to be working on. Stay tuned for some more videos and some more stuff on the live launch page. And I guess we'll see you next time.
See ya.